Your Excellency, welcome on stage. It's great to have you here.
Nice to be here, thank you.
Lovely. So, look, it's reading your experience in the diplomatic services. You really serve in many interesting countries, especially in the context of what is happening today. Russia, Ukraine, Poland, now from 2021, Czech Republic. But I will not go there because that would be the long discussion. But starting really with the Israel. So if you think about the women, their rights, the situation for women in Israel, from your perspective, how it looks and what changed?
Okay. The bad news is it will take us, as well as the previous speaker said, it will take us another 100 years if we don't do anything, in a sense that we do have a pay gap quite similar to the Czech one. We do have a lot of problems. That's the minus thing in my country. The plus thing, as far as I can grasp, is women's awareness of their rights, of where they should be, of the need for pay. And it's something which developed during the last 20, 30 years. I'm for ages in diplomacy, and I have to say that I see tremendous change of women's groups inside the ministry, supporting. We have platforms, we have WhatsApps, we have, called gender equality and so on and so on. And I think the whole society, including the men, is much more aware. For those of you who noticed that we had like 12 weeks of crazy demonstrations in Israel on our internal issues, the theme is far from being resolved, but it was a success of demonstrators, and good that we are in red, because part of this general demonstrating movement includes a specific women's demonstrating movement, including some of them wearing those clothes from Handmaid's Tale. I don't know how it's called in Czech. Przyběh servilky or something like that. In those red long dresses and wide hoods. It's in order to attract attention, or just separate or additional demonstrations in red as part of this movement. So in this sense, women, I think, generally are much more there than what I feel. I don't have the full knowledge, but what I feel here in the Czech Republic. Going to the crucial, in my opinion, issue which the previous speaker raised, this endless maternity leave, I want to tell you that women's organizations, and I'm talking pre the creation of the State of Israel even, you couldn't even call them feminist organizations. But the first thing they did was daycare. Each women's organization has daycare from, 3 months or 6 months on. What you don't have here, and I don't see any chance of getting to equal pay unless you have daycare of any kind for everybody. And you don't.
Yeah, exactly. The structural changes are important to enable this. But you also mentioned the example from Israel, and it was very emotional for me to see the human chain of women in red really being there as activists. They were not fighting for the women's rights, actually. This wasn't a feminist issue.
They are, because part of this wave of demonstration, there are. The main issue is legal reform or judiciary reform, but one of the issues is the fear of the demonstrators of regression on women's and LGBTQ rights, because of these reforms.
Yeah. So what I hear from you, there are three important elements which really can help to improve situation, not in 100 years, as you said, but probably sooner. The one is really the building the awareness about the feminist issues around society, which I think this is exactly what the Equal Pay Day does very well. And we need more. Then we need active approach. So not only sit down and listen, but really go, act, speak about it. And also ask for very concrete structural changes in the system, which works in other countries. So there is a lot of inspiration for regulators to change the system to enable this movement. So thank you really for sharing this. I think it's a very good inspiration for us. There are more things you do, and recently you also introduced the exhibition, which is called She Is Gone. Would you mention something about this event and what it is about?
This is another issue, again, connected with awareness. We introduced it, it still runs actually until today in the Sniemovna, an exhibition which was done by a lady artist, which actually brings real clothes of real women who were killed as a result of domestic violence. It sounds, what is there to see? I want to tell you that when I came to this exhibition, and at first, and it's hanging in the room, it's not along the road, and at first you kind of brush over those places, and then you feel this horrible energy of something bad happening in the room. That's another issue on which I see a serious progress in awareness, because 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you could actually hear in the media someone saying this and this lady was killed on the background of for romantic reasons. You know, you can be killed for romantic reasons. It doesn't exist anymore, and I think the awareness of the fact that there are women from all parts of society, it's not educated or poor women, it's everywhere that there is domestic violence, another issue which should be discussed and I think should be dealt with in companies and in workplaces, because there are signs when it happens to someone. We rarely notice the signs, and we should help those women.
So thank you for bringing this exhibition to Sniemovna, because those are really tough topics, and people don't feel so comfortable to speak about them, but probably go there to see the reality.
But we have to break something. Again, 40 years ago, someone is hitting someone, you hear shouting, you say it's their own business. No, it isn't. Yeah. He's about to kill her. It's not their own business. And I think this change is coming. It still doesn't solve the issue, of course. It's very complicated to solve.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw during the COVID times that domestic violence actually increased significantly in many countries. In any crisis, women and children are the first to suffer. Yes. In wars, in pandemics, and in any crisis. And from different perspectives.
Everywhere.
Yes, and everywhere in the world, yeah. So I would like to give an opportunity to ask questions. I don't know if you have something in the application, as I left my smartphone on a table, but really feel free to ask any questions, because we have a great opportunity here. I see lady in red. It's a Mars table. There are many ladies in red, so I thought now it's a Mars table. Can we ask for microphone? Thank you.
It's not...
yeah. Just speak. They will put on. Oni to zapną. Zkuste ještě raz.
Hi. Okay. Thank you very much for the conversation. About the woman with the kids, and actually I really like, as even Israeli companies and the society is very traditional, but they are having the kindergarten with very, very small kids. And actually what I having the problem in Czech Republic is even if there is the kindergarten, there is a huge push from other women to not like put the kids to the kindergartens or like even like the smaller kids, but to stay with them at least like 3 years because the moms is the most important. Actually, I think that the men are the same importance. So what is in Israel is the same. Is there is the push from other women? There are these like two fires bombs, let's say, that they are like disputing a little bit, or it's more about like one common sense to support women.
I want to I'm very blunt on this issue, and I want to apologize in advance. I completely don't believe in the idea that the child is better off when his mother stays at home. On top of it, I think that the very idea, let's say we have a little boy, whose mother is around for 6 years, wiping his ass. He's not going to be a feminist because you raised him anti-feminist. You raised him with the idea that the mother is an item which is supposed to serve him.
Yeah.
And
there's only one role for mother.
I'm sorry, I'm very extreme on this. Now, I'm extreme even because of a different reason. I have 2 children and already 1 granddaughter. I myself couldn't stand it at home. I couldn't stand it. It was boring. They were nice. They were sleepy. If you want to give me maternity leave, give it to me when they are 6, not when they are 0, in my case at least. Secondly, the assumption, and this is part of the issue here, because even if you don't talk about it too much, there is incredible pressure on women to stay at home because that makes her a great mom. I remember when my daughter was around 2.5 and she didn't read the watch yet. And she asked her older brother, could I phone Dana now? Because she knows that at some hours you can't phone. And my 7.5-year-old boy answered her, you can't phone her. Her mother doesn't work. She's tired. She's more tired. It means she rests in the middle of the day. Now, I really think that the assumption that stay-at-home moms forever are giving more to the children is wrong. I know that when I came after 4 o'clock, I was hungry for my children, to play with them, to do with them stuff. When you are around all day, I think you are tired and less probably attentive than if you would be half a day, most of the day outside. And the third issue, okay, if you have those incredible 60% of the women who are with better education, great, assuming that they have the patience to stay at home, but you have the women who don't have special education, who don't have the patience, and the children are not getting more, they are getting less than a child everywhere else. So look around, there is no perfect models in the world, but I think the closest to them are Nordic countries. Look around and see that they grow quite nice children with a completely different system without leaving us at home forever. For me, this stay at home, this old German helped me with this 3 Ks. Kirsche, Kinder, Küchen, or something like that. I think it's a regression.
Yeah. Your Excellency, thank you very much for the encouragement, for sharing. Thank you.